Hello, everybody. The August 23rd patch buffed up pets critical chance by about 15%-ish. And I figured that I'm sorry, it was like 17%. So I figured that I would actually give a updated video to the best ranger pets. If you're wondering what the best setup is for Untamed, Druid, and Core, it's going to be the Lynx, and then on your swap is the Jacaranda. Lynx is fantastic for single target, and Jacaranda is great for both single target and AoE, and is also a very tanky pet. But for single target purposes, the Lynx does do more damage consistently, so yeah, just keep that in mind. We are also going to be going over auto attack setups for each pet that I recommend. For the Lynx here, I have all of them on auto attack. For the Jacaranda, I have Call Lightning and Photosynthesize on auto attack. And yeah, so let's go and go into these pet rows here and go over the ones that I really like and the ones that I don't like. So all the Moas are shit besides the red Moa. So red Moa is going to be the way to go for Soul Beast. So Soul Beast is very revolved around merging with your pet 24/7, right? So whenever you're merged permanently, you get the Frenzied attack, which is a really good attack that applies some vulnerability. Of course, Worldly Impact, it's a ferocious pet, so you do more power damage. And Harmonic Cry, which is really good as well. I'm not entirely sure what the best Condi pet is for Soul Beast. I think it's like the Lynx or the Warthog or something like that. It's one of those. I think it's the Lynx, Warthog, or Iboga. Keep in mind, the Iboga is no longer the best pet in the game for PvE circumstances whenever you have your pet out, so it's still viable, but it's definitely not the best anymore, so just keep that in mind. So yeah, that's as far as the Moas go, just don't even bother. Bears-wise, I don't recommend any bear, because there are... Jacaranda is just as tanky as the bear, and it does significantly more damage. However, if you are without any expansions and you want a tanky pet, bears are still shit. You don't want to... They're just overly tanky. There's never any situation... Most situations in the game, you don't need a pet to be this tanky. So yeah, don't even bother with the bears. I tried it with the crit chance increase, and it just didn't work very well. You're not going to be seeing the crit chance represented here because I'm in the PvP lobby, and the crit chance buff was only in PvE, so just keep that in mind. And yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll take a look. What's next here? The felines. So as far as the felines go, the best one, of course, is the Lynx. Now, the Tiger could also be really good as well because it could provide Fury on a consistent basis with its Furious Pounce ability, which will basically do a pounce, and then it'll apply Fury to itself and allies. So it's pretty cool, and that you can keep Fury up permanently on your pet, which is really cool. I'm running Nature Magic on here, so I don't really need to care about that, but it is cool your pet could do that. For the auto attack setup, I have all 3 attacks on auto attack, and yeah. If there's any other felines that I'd recommend, well, no, there's none. There's absolutely none. There's none here that I'm really like, oh yeah, that's gonna be a fan-fucking-tastic pet to run. Oh yeah, that's great. Like, there's nothing here that's there in the feline category. It's the Lynx and the Tiger. Those are the best. The White Tiger can be a little weird, because you have the Guardian's Roar ability here with the Aegis, but the Phase Pounce ability is just a straight-up downgrade over the Maul ability that is typically on felines, so don't even bother. So yeah, moving into some of the specialty pets here, we have the Bristleback, which could be really good at range. Generally, you don't really need ranged pets in the game. There's some circumstances, right? So there's a weird thing at like Claude Jormag when you're in the last part and you're stacking up with everyone and shooting at them or whatever, with your bow and arrow or whatever. Because of the fact that a lot of people don't even bother doing the mechanic for the second phase of Claude Jormag, they just stack up and shoot the mouth of them or whatever. Your pet, if you have a melee pet, it's not going to do anything. I believe the range pets actually do stuff. In terms of what I'd be using for auto attacks, Rain of Spikes, Spike Barrage, and Sharpened Spines, all those on auto attack, that's probably my recommended setup. And yeah, but generally there really isn't a need for the Bristleback in general. Moving into the Siege Turtle, this is a very not good pet. As much as I would love the Siege Turtle to be an amazing pet, it really isn't. Its projectile speed is unbelievably slow. Like, look how fucking slow this is. A lot of the times, your target will just completely move, and it doesn't do enough damage to really compensate for this extreme travel time and very slow auto attack time. It's got some decent CC here. We have a 232 Defiance bar break there. And then we have some protection here, which is cool. And then it's like a versatile pet, but it's really not good. I wouldn't recommend using this pet at all in PvE. It's just not good at all. Don't even bother. Which sucks to say because I was really looking forward to this one, but unfortunately not. So yeah, moving into the hounds or the canines, there's nothing here that I recommend. Honestly, it really sucks to see how bad canines are. There's nothing here that I'd run. Smokescale is a better pet to run. A lot of these are, well, basically all of them are like jack of all trades kind of pets. That's how the canines are. They're very much just kind of decent at everything, but they don't excel in any particular category. Even pets that seem really cool, like the Fernhound, don't really have a whole lot of usage. The beast ability here is cool, but it's not a significant amount of healing to really consider running this pet over some of the higher damage options in the game, so don't even bother with any canine in my opinion. They're completely pointless, and they definitely need a balance patch, that's for sure. Drakes, I love drakes. I think they're really cool. Just conceptually, the fact that they're lizards that shoot elemental shit out their mouths and stuff, it's really cool. But unfortunately, they're not really too good. They're good in like open world for just that tankiness. They cleave on their auto attacks, which is really good, and they do some pretty good damage. They're really tanky, so that's nice. They can get their health back, and they just are naturally tanky. They have a lot of health. They have a lot of toughness. It's just naturally really, really good. So for any Drake, I'm talking literally any Drake, just keep all three abilities on auto attack. Any one of them, all three of them. And yeah, but generally Drakes are going to be more useful for open world content. Now, if you are a core ranger or whatever, you don't have access to any expansions, these, in my opinion, are going to be your best. I'm going to get away from here because that guy's being a little loud. These are going to be your best tanky pets in the game, specifically the Marsh Drake or the River Drake. The River Drake you could start off right away on many of the races, so it's already a really good pet to start off with. I have the auto attack on all the abilities as per usual. Just keep in mind sometimes your pet will kind of just start off its attacking sequence, and I actually just clicked that on accident, fuck, from range. And also, if you want it auto-casts Chomp for health, so it's not going to auto-cast it all the time, even though it does do a significant amount of more damage than Bite usually does. So if you really want to maximize your damage output, click it off cooldown. But other than that, you should be fine. Like I said, Drakes are just decent damage pets. They're really cool. They're really, really badass. And they're great for open world stuff and for leveling and all that. So if you want a leveling pet, this is probably your best leveling pet, in my personal opinion. And yeah, so moving into the Devourers, once again, don't run any of these. They're just completely pointless. There's no point to using them. Don't even bother. And they're range pets, so yeah, I just don't even really see the point. Birds-wise, these are straight up downgrades from Feline, so there's no real no real reason to use them. But the eagle is really cool. I like the eagle because it just consistently attacks, and it also makes really cool noises. I mean, I love the noise the bird makes. I think it's so fucking cool. Let me go ahead and show this off. And motherfucker. God fucking damn it, dude. I hate this area. I actually hate this area. I wish I had all the pets, man. I'd be just so much happier not to go. Look at this motherfucker. He's following me? But I don't know if you could hear the little sound he makes. I mean, it's really cool. And it's got a... You gotta be fucking shitting me, dude. Why the fuck is this guy coming after me? Alright. This is bullshit. Look at this guy up here. He's like, oh, I'm letting you get attacked. Alright, so... yeah, the Eagle's really the only good one to use. In terms of auto attacks, I do the first two here on auto attack, and then Quick Hitting Screech is a manual cast. I would never, ever, 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 ever recommend leaving Quick Hitting Screech on auto attack, because it takes a very long time for it to use, and then it will get over to the target or whatever, like, basically just as fast as if you don't have it on there. This could be good in groups and stuff like that. My favorite way to use this is in that fucking fractal where you have, I forget, you have to like jump on those like holographic platforms, and you have those little shits shooting you with their bows and all that, and they're fucking crippling you, and it's super goddamn annoying. So that's my favorite way to use these guys. But they're good for thematic reasons, but they're not really viable in any way. They definitely do less damage than the felines that I mentioned. But they're just cool, alright? They got a coolness factor to them that I like, alright? And you can hear it while you're in combat. Really relaxing. I love birds in real life, so it's really nice to have it in this game. So, yeah, I think it's really, really cool. Moving into some more specialty pets. Oh god. This was the bastard child of End the Dragons, the Phoenix. This is the pet I looked at, and I was like, just from like, I remember reading the abilities, and I was like, oh, I literally jizzed a little bit just looking at it. It looked absolutely fantastic. Charge forward, do a lot of damage, shoot a fucking laser beam out your mouth. I saw it on Reddit, and I was like, holy shit! And it's got the wing buffet ability from the wyverns. What? It sucks. It fucking sucks, and it sucks to say. So this attack's pretty good. Wing buffet's pretty good, but the main thing that sucks ass about it is the Gale Breath. This is supposed to be this fucking massive, big dick damage beast ability, but unfortunately, it sucks ass. So look at how it does this. Look at how it does this shit. So instead of focusing on a single target, it will do this really slow sweep that does nothing. It's fucking useless. Don't even bother with this pet. It was the biggest disappointment in End of Dragons for me personally. It was a pet. A ranger pet was the biggest disappointment, which shows how great the expansion actually was. But yeah, it sucks to say. I really, really wish the Phoenix was actually a viable pet to run, because it looks really cool. It's insanely glass cannon-y. It's got the lowest toughness out of any pet I've ever fucking seen in my life. And it sucks ass, unfortunately. So yeah. Moving into the next pets here, I already talked about the Jacaranda. Spiders! Don't even bother. Spiders suck ass. Don't even bother with them. I've tried them. I hate them. Same with the Devourers. They suck ass. So don't even bother. Pigs! Once again, don't bother. All the pigs fucking suck. And the reason why is because their beast ability is fucking terrible. So you click this, and then you get a random thing you have to pick up. And these always suck ass. Compared to your regular weapons they use, or you use, they always suck. So don't even bother. They're all fucking terrible. Next one is the Wallow. The Wallow is a really cool pet. I mean, it's a really badass looking motherfucker, man. He's so cool. I have all the ones on auto attack. It's a pretty cool pet. It life steals on its auto attack, so it's pretty good for tankiness. This is very much a tanky kind of pet. It doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, but it's pretty fucking tanky and it looks really cool. And it siphons help on its auto attack. It's got a lot of toughness. You could just tell this motherfucker's armed to the teeth in terms of his armor, man. Like crazy amounts of armor. Got some decent CC there on its beast ability, as well as some pretty good bleed damage. Generally, though, wouldn't really recommend running it, but it is a really cool pet, and if you want to run it, fuck it! It's a cool pet, and it's definitely better than some of the other pets that I mentioned. Actually, most pets, honestly. And yeah, the pig, it's the same thing. It's the same as those. Don't run it. It sucks ass. Rock Gazelle is great for CC. I actually really enjoy the Rock Gazelle on swap for CC. I think it's really, really fun. So for your abilities, use all of them on auto attack. So it's got a kick ability here, which does some cleave damage and just really good cleave damage. It's got a head toss here, which does good damage in PvE. It doesn't show it here because I'm in the PvP lobby, but it does good damage in PvE, as well as doing a 232 Defiance break, which is crazy. And then we have a Daze here as well, which is really, really good. Great pet for CC and damage hybrid. A really, really good pet to have on swap. As well as it being actually one of the more popular picks on Power Soul Beast as well, which is fantastic. And yeah, so the Electric Wyvern is going to be the best out of the Wyvern family, alright? I don't like the way it looks compared to my good buddy Alduin or the Fire Wyvern, but it's definitely the best. I have all three of them on auto attack. If you want, you can keep Lightning Assault off auto attack, because sometimes it can get really annoying whenever your pet dashes forward and then has to come back to the enemy. But it really isn't that much of a dash. I mean, as you can see here, if I go ahead and use it, it's really not a whole... Actually, well, this is not going to be a good example at all, because it's literally going to charge forward to the fence. But, yeah, he's not using his abilities. I don't know why here. But yeah, pretty cool. And it also has a really good auto attack too. It hits like both wings for over 1,000 damage for auto attack, just base. It's really cool. I really, really like it. And yeah, it's a great pet for CC, as well as a pretty decent tanking pet, honestly, for solo play. I do really, really enjoy this one. So, like I said, all three of them on auto attack. You could take Lightning Assault off if you really, really want. Just kind of experiment with it. Maybe you'll like it, maybe you won't. Just keep in mind, it has a lightning combo field, so it can be kind of useful sometimes to manually activate it, so you could do the finishers on it. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Really, really cool pet. And I definitely recommend it for solo play as well as crowd control. So moving into... the Fire Wyvern, it's the exact same thing as the Electric Wyvern, but it has this Consuming Flame ability, which sucks ass. It's a terrible ability, but whenever I go to Queensdale, just to, like, you know, hang out with people and help out new players and stuff, I will always whip this pet out, because look at this ability. Like, when you show them ranger pets, this is the coolest ranger ability in the entire game. I love that ability to increase this fire field. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't do dick for damage, but it is really fucking cool looking. So, yeah, I will hope that my boy Alduin gets buffed someday. But until then, you have to stay in Sovngarde, my friend. Alright, so moving into the last two pets here. The Smokescale is a great all-around pet for solo play. Don't use this in group play, but it is great for solo play for all-around. It has a decent CC. It's got a smoke cloud that it can hide in to be tanky on. It's got a pretty good smoke assault ability, which does a good amount of damage and provide itself with might. It's a great all-around pet. So if you're looking for a jack-of-all-trades, master-none pet, this is the best example of that in the game. Don't run this in group content, okay? For fuck's sake, don't. But this is fantastic for solo play and like just general open world stuff because it does everything. It does CC, it does good tankiness with Smoke Cloud, and then it does the Smoke Assault ability for decent damage. And it has a shit auto attack, but it's still okay. It's like an okay auto attack, alright? So yeah, it's just generally decent at everything. So like I said, great pet for solo play, open world shit. Just don't use it in group content, please, for the love of God. This is also a really popular one to run in PvP as well. Lastly, the Iboga. How my boy Fangi has fallen from grace. It's just not that good anymore. The auto attack is fucking awful by default and only becomes somewhat decent when you have the conditions. And its abilities are okay. They're not really incredible, but they're not really like, you know, terrible either. It's still a viable pet. It still actually beats out most pets on damage, but it's just I wouldn't recommend running it for like single target, which is what this would probably be meant for. The links will outpace it for AOE cleave. The Jacaranda does better, so generally it's not a good pet to run anymore. It's still viable. Like I said, it beats out most pets in terms of damage. It's still up there. It's like probably like the third or fourth most high damage pet, but it's not good. So. Yeah, for auto attack, I have Crippling Anguish and Necrotic Spores. And then for the Smoke Scale, I forgot to mention this, the auto attack, I have Smoke Assault and Takedown on auto attack. And then Smoke Cloud I have without auto attack because it is very much a tanky ability. When my pet is taking damage, it can hide in here and it won't take any damage from enemies. It's just really, really cool. But yeah, to recap, the best setup in the entire game for PvE setup for Untamed, Druid, and Core is going to be the Lynx and the Jacaranda. And yeah, there is your best Ranger pet in 2022 video. I tried to make this a little shorter and less rambly than my last one. I wanted to kind of get to the point. Keep in mind, this is probably going to be a good video for another 2 months until the next balance patch, in which they'll probably overhaul and tame to make a lot of different things. I hope. I fucking hope. Alright, anyway, that's going to cover it, and peace.